It's a post-Civil War Western starring pirates. It's Louis L'Amour. It's The Shadow Riders. This is our weekly Western wrap-up. And what am I, like 2 or 3 weeks behind? Who's counting? And got a whole list of movies we gotta watch now, and we had to add this one on there. Louis L'Amour, The Shadow Riders. And who's in this movie? Tom Selleck, Sam Elliott, Catherine Ross, Ben Johnson, and Louis L'Amour wrote I don't know if it was a novelization or they made it based on the novel. It reads like it was, this is a novelization, but I'm not sure. Maybe somebody knows. You could let us inform us in the comments. That would be wonderful. Because it did read a little bit different than um, other Louis L'Amour books I've read in the past. The writing was the same, but the plotting was a little bit different, and the action sequences were a little bit different too. Uh, but yeah, let's get into it. So this is post Civil War, and on the way home back to Texas, two brothers they run into each other a, a few miles from home, and they fought on either side, uh, the North and the Confederate states, and because they're from Texas, if you don't know the U.S. history, Texas, a lot of the states went back and forth, um, and Texas was one of those. And even if you lived in the South, you might have went up north and fought for the northern cause. If you lived in the north, you might have gone south and fought for the southern cause. It's really not that cut and dry, and that's without getting into the politics of it, which is crazy, and that would be cool to talk about one day. But we're not doing that. We're doing a Western wrap up. Louis L'Amour, The Shadow Riders, and yeah, so they fought on either side of the war, and they meet up. They don't really care, to be honest, much about the war. Like the war is over. They're done with it. They're going back home, and yeah, they're gonna go back to the farm, take care of the family, whatever. On their way home, they start to realize that there's a group of Confederate soldiers that have not, they haven't stopped fighting basically, and they form a caravan and they're going down to Mexico. And on their way down to Mexico, they're taking horses, they're taking cattle, they're taking whatever they need, and they're also capturing people for slaves, and they're going to sell these people. I think like in the Gulf of Mexico on a ship. That ship is going to go take them into like mines or a brothel or something in South America, and they're going to sell these people off as slaves. So as these two brothers, the Travins, are going back to their house, they're realizing that this is going on and that this caravan is headed right for their house. And so, you know, that's pretty much where the action starts, because yeah, you know what's going on, right? So they get to their house. There's, people are dead, people are missing. It's a mess, and they have to chase after this caravan, which is interesting because usually you would have the the bad guys in that position where they're the ones like assaulting a caravan or a stagecoach. They're the raiders, but in this case, the heroes are the raiders, and so um, you get to see the heroes of the story basically just ruthlessly kill people from, you know like cold distances. Like they'll be these raiders will be like doing camp chores, whatever, and washing dishes or something, and then one of the heroes is hiding in a bush and just shoots him in the stomach, which is not That's not what you're expecting a lot of times when you read a Western. You want to be like face to face, you want a duel or something. And not to say that a lot of times in Louis L'Amour novels, it is cold like that. The killings are pretty cold sometimes, but uh, at least they'll know who the person is. You'll know the guy's name. There's some kind of drama between the two. And in this one, they're like, oh, there's one of the guys. Boom. You know, they don't. There's not a lot of emotion behind it. They're just trying to take out this caravan, and they're trying to slow them down. And it was awesome. It was awesome. At the same time, towards the end, ugh, it's that's my question about this is like, is this a novelization? Was the movie made first? Yeah, because I just feel like it didn't, like how it ties up. It's so obvious. Like how it's gonna end. It could only end one way. It's not going to end with everybody getting sold into slavery and living the rest of their existence in South America, and these guys just give up and go home. That's not obviously not going to happen. But I just didn't get that satisfying feeling that I usually get at the end of one of these Louis L'Amour books, and that's why I'm wondering maybe he had like some like a plot line to write across, and or some they can't they what do they say, they can't all be zingers. So I think this was written like 19, probably towards the end of his uh, career. 1982 is the copyright. So yeah, it's a later one. But yeah, it's Louis L'Amour, Shadow Riders. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm gonna watch the movie. I gotta watch a bunch of westerns. I don't know. I gotta hunt these down. Maybe you guys know where I could find them. It's like I had no idea there's so many western movies. It's really overwhelming. But thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully the production in these videos is getting better and my presentation is getting better. I'm trying to really work on this part here where I'm talking and trying to fill that space, cut the ums and the buts out, and yeah, get rid of this filler and try to make content worth watching, right? All right. Until next time. Peace.